Now, in continuation of the lecture 4, this is lecture number 5 in the operating system. Now, here I will discuss about the virtual machine. Now, you know properly about the operating system because it works as the virtual machine. We can say it is an interface between the hardware and software, and it also used as a platform so that we can install a number of application softwares over that, or whatever the user will like, then he can install those other softwares. So operating system is a virtual machine, okay, an interface between the user and hardware. So this is the middle layer, we can say, that hides the details of the hardware. So whenever we are going to work with the operating system, then we don't bother about the hardware. Okay, even though just we check primarily at the primary level, what is the requirement of the hardware for a particular system software, mainly the operating system, and after that we will start to work using that operating system. Okay, so the operating system, whenever we are working as a user, then we don't bother about the hardware, whatever we have in the system, just we work on the platform, on the operating system. So it hides the details of the IO devices, what type of IO devices we are using, or what is what is inside the system. Okay, so that's why this acts as a virtual machine. Okay, so operating system, it is the middle layer, we can say, and we can work properly after installation of the OS. So it constructs higher level, okay, resources out of lower level physical resources. So you can see here, we are using one word virtual, okay, constructs higher level resources. So because the operating system acts as a resource manager, it controls or manages the IO devices, do the file management, CPU scheduling, or we can say the processor management and memory management. So these are the main important, we can say, the resources uh, which are controlled by the operating system or managed by the OS. Okay, so we are using such type of resources as a in the form of virtual, okay, because we are not interfacing, we are not bothering about the main memory or how the we are creating the files and folders, who is controlling those files and folder, and whenever we are going to create uh, these type of files, then how these files are coming on the desktop. So this is the function of the operating system. Whatever we are managing the resources or the memory occupied by a particular file or the folder. So the user don't bother with the memory also. Okay. Now the definition, we can say the OS is a collection of software enhancements. So operating systems, so there are numerous, or we can say various definitions which are used for the operating system. We can define in several ways. Okay, so it is a collection of software enhancements executed on their hardware. We execute all the files on the hardware. Okay, just we are using only the platform, operating system as a platform, and after that we are installing several application software on that, and we are working. So it has only interface with the hardware as well as the application software. So culminating in a high level virtual machine. So it acts as a virtual machine. So OS we can say, because ultimately we are working on other application softwares, other packages on the behalf of the OS. So we can say it acts as a virtual machine. Okay, serves as an advanced programming environment. So it provides the advanced programming environment. Okay, so with the help of the OS, we can change the environment of the machine. So we can say virtual machine, it is similar to the software enhancement. Okay, it is nothing but the system software. So we can enhance the different softwares just after installation on the platform on the OS. Okay, then we can extend the machine. So this is called the extension of a particular machine after the installation of various other softwares. Okay, maybe a system software or application software. System software means the compilers, assemblers, linkers, loaders, etc. Okay, and other application software or packages as per demand of the user. So just we are extending our machine. At the primary level, we will install our OS as per the need or the requirement of the organization. It may be a Windows based or Linux, Unix, or Android, whatever we need, okay, or other OS. Now we will work with the OS using different layers. So what are the different layers of the OS we will discuss. Okay. Now there are number of operating system definition. There is no universally accepted definition. Okay, you can define in several ways. Everything is a vendor ships. When you are order an operating system is good approximation but varies widely. Okay, we can use the OS, but it varies widely. Okay, so some sort of changes required, and it will uh, depend. It will vary machine to machine. Okay, so the one program running at all times on the computer is the kernel. So kernel is the we can say this is the main program, that is the OS, the internal we can say the organ. Okay, the vital organ of the OS, that is the kernel. Okay, so this program runs at all times on the computer. Okay, so everything else is either a system program or an application program. So after that, on the kernel, we are using every time the central part of the OS, and everything is controlled by this central part. And after that, we can install other system softwares and also the application softwares. Okay, that is also called the system program or the application program. Now there are various types of software we will discuss here. So one is the major, we can say the classification is the system softwares. Okay, and then application softwares, utility softwares, utility programs, we can say. So the application softwares, this is the specific one, performs task specific to the machine utilization. Okay, how we are using the utilizing the machine, or it is solving a particular problem of the organization or the company. So we can say the application software performs tasks specific to the machine utilization. Okay, overall we are using the machine, but our application software solving a particular task. Okay, and this is dedicated to a organization, generally transportable. So whenever we use a lot of application software, and these are the transportable softwares. These are called the transportable software. We can use on other systems too. Okay, if we are using the one application software and that was fruitful for us, advantageous for us, then, and if it is also you are also comfortable, and you can also use that software. So we can say just we are developing the application software that may be used by a number of companies. Okay, adopted by a number of companies. So this have the characteristics of transportation. Okay, so we can say portable. We can use on one machine, we can run on another machine used by other users on their systems. So generally transportable. Other category is called the system softwares. System softwares, the main is the operating system. Okay, so performs tasks common to the computer system in general. So OS we cannot say it is a dedicated one for a particular user or the organization, but it is adopted by most of the organization or the companies. Okay, and also it is used by worldwide by various or big organization. So it performs tasks common to the computer systems in general. So we can use on several machines. Okay, so the category of the system software is a vital. We can say the big category of this system software. So operating systems vary based on the hardware they are used on. So whenever we are installing the operating systems, then we always emphasize or we check the hardware whatever we are using, so that software will be compatible with that hardware or not. Okay, so we must be aware by the configuration what type of hardware we are using, so that we can install comfortably that particular software or not. So before installation, just we have to check the concerning IO devices as well as the hardware. Okay, so this is the category of different type of softwares. Another type is called the utility softwares. Okay, so utility software, so we can say that providing fundamental activities yet not included with the operating system. Okay, because this category is a little bit different than the system software or the application software. It provides you the interface between the user and the hardware. Okay, so there are several uh, utility softwares, device drivers, etc., and providing interface with the hardware and the user. So we can say providing fundamental activities, even though we are not including with the operating system. Another, we use the word extend the operating system. So whenever we are going to extend the operating system, then we inbuilt the utility software. Okay, with that. So this is called the extend or the extension uh, for the operating system. Okay, so if we will merge this utility software with the operating system, then that extend word we may use as the extension for the OS. Another point related to the utility software is the distinction between the applications and utilities is open wave. Okay, open wave means we are not aware what is going to happen um, between the application and the utility. Okay, so we can say that how the service will be provided by the utility software. So you cannot feel, just you have installed the operating system on the machine, and after that you started to work. Okay, how? Just after the installation of various you can say the application software on that platform, otherwise you cannot work. Okay, but what this category is little bit different. How the utility softwares are working, you are not aware. User is not aware. So we can say that interface between the OS and the hardware. Okay, so mm, this facility provided by the utility programs, utility software. Even though we are not aware what is going to happen or what is happening. So distinction between the OS and utilities is also vague. Also vague. Why? Because we are not aware about the results. Okay. So what is the role of the utility softwares? with the operating system. Okay, how the OS providing the interface with the help of the utility programs. So the result is unexpected, we can say. We are not aware by the result. Okay, even though we are using it proper in a proper manner, but what is happening inside the black box, we are not aware. Okay, or we can say what is the role of the utility software with the OS, then we cannot differentiate. So the Unix shell and the utilities. So again, there is a interface with the another OS, that is the Unix, and the role of the utility software. So with the Unix OS, now we can see at the lower layer, at the primary layer. So there is a hardware. Okay, big role of the hardware. Without the involvement of the hardware, you cannot use only the software. Okay, either it is a system software or the application software or the utility software. So there are three categories. Okay, so at the lower level, you can see here hardware. After that, kernel. What is the kernel? It is the internal, or we can say the central part of the OS. Okay, so just here I am writing kernel. Just I am showing it on the we can say in this diagram instead of the OS. Okay, because this is the central part or the main important part of the OS. So the second layer here is after the hardware, the kernel. Then how the utilities and the shell have the connectivity, or we can say the interface with the OS. So the kernel provides the interface with the help of the utility softwares, and shell, it is, we can say, the command prompt for the Unix. Okay, so whenever we will install the Unix OS, and with the help of the shell, or we can say the shell programming, it provides the interface with the Unix OS to the user. Okay, so the user can type their commands easily. So users can easily write the command on the command prompt and can manage each and everything with the help of several commands. Okay, we can create the file, we can delete, copy, etc. So on the Unix shell, with the help of the utility softwares, you can manage all type of commands. Okay, and it provides the interface with the user. Now another layout you can see here, this is called the Unix system layout. So again, at the lower level, primary level, you can see here hardware. After that, we will talk about the kernel. So either it is the Unix or other OS. So this is the central part. Okay. So this is hardware is the basic building block, and after that, the story of the software will start from here. This is the first layer for the system softwares. Okay, after the hardware. So at initial state, we have this hardware stage, and after that, Unix kernel, and after installation of the OS, then there is a service layer. Okay, the service layer provide the interface with the Unix kernel and the command layer or shell. So we have already discussed about the shell. Shell is nothing but the shell programming for the Unix system. Okay, so this is shell is also called the command layer. Here you can write several commands and you can see the results for that. Okay, like you can create the file, you can copy, delete, etc. You can see the several files on the Unix system. Okay, how many users are working. So with the help of commands, you can see here. Okay, using the command layer. So this is the sort of layout for the Unix system. But initially, you can see the basic building block is the hardware. Now general Unix architecture, you can see here, central part, you can see hardware, okay. Here, the inner circle, you can see here, this is the hardware. Always, we will always start with the hardware. After that, OS. Now you can see here, OS, operating system, means the main important part of the OS is the kernel. Then this is the main layer. On this basic building block, we have this kernel, that is the OS, part of the OS, important part of the OS. And after this layer, you can see system call interface. Okay, so this kernel provides the interface between the Unix commands and the kernel. Okay, and this kernel provides the here interfacing with the hardware, or we can say with the user. Here, these commands will be typed by the user. Now you can see there are several commands are available in the library of the Unix. Now, whatever you want to do, just on the command prompt, you have to write the command directly, and then you can see the results of the particular command. Okay, and after this, here you can see Unix command and libraries. So here you can write the commands as well as user written applications. Here, after writing the commands, you can also work on this platform. Now, this is the major layer on which the user can work. Okay, so on this part, that is the outer layer, here this is dedicated for users. Okay, so user can write any command, user can write any application. Okay, so this is a little bit different than the Windows operating system. Okay, this is sort of it is like the Linux. We can say the updated or the modified version. After the Unix, currently we are using the Linux OS. Okay, that is the updated or modified version. Even though we are working comfortably with the uh, Windows operating system, and there are several, we can say that versions of the Windows we are using and also going to launch by the Microsoft. Okay, so we are more comfortable with the Windows OS. But if we want to do the some sort of higher level programming, or we want to do the system programming, then we must be aware by the use of the Linux or the Unix operating system. There are several still, they are developing sort of application softwares or the system softwares, or writing the compilers or the interpreters or other system softwares. So they are working in the environment of the Unix or the Linux operating system. But currently everybody is using the Windows operating system. That is the most, we can say, the user friendly among the users worldwide. Okay. Now this is the basic architecture, general Unix architecture. We can say that here we can write the programs at the outer layer, other application programs, other application programs, so CC. Here, this is the command prompt. So here we can write the commands, various commands, and these commands are, are available here. This is the, in Unix, this is called the VI editor. Okay, so with the help of VI editor, we can work on that. We can write several commands, we can create the folder, we can create the file, we can work on that. Okay, so these are the ED. Here you can see graph, v, date, here CPP, comp. So there are various, these are the sort of commands you can use. Who means who is working currently on the Unix operating system. So we can check the number of users. Okay, and also the we can check here the various versions of Unix OS. Okay, so with the date and time, we can check here if we want to check the date and so we can say these are the combinations of few commands mentioned here, even though there are several commands, maybe 1,000 or more than 1,000 commands here. And a dot out, suppose that we are going to write any program, and after that we want to come again, we want to return back to the VI editor, or we want to close our program, then after saving, we write the a dot out. So whenever we are working on the Unix operating system or the Linux operating system, we use this command a dot out. Okay, a dot out means after writing the program, whether we are using the C, C++ or some other language, then we close our program just after a dot out. Okay, so that we can see the output of that particular program. So these are various commands for the Unix operating system. Now, why choose a multiprocessor? Okay, because we use earlier some single processor, and our demand is enhancing, and to get the improved version, or we can say the good performance or the good efficiency, or fast, we can say we want to get the fast system. Okay, then how we will improve the speed of the system? So for that, we enhance the clock speed, or we can use the number of processors. Okay, so this is another way to get the more efficient system, more fast system, or we want to get the good performance of the system, then we choose the multiprocessor system. Okay, so a single CPU can only go so fast, use more than one CPU to improve performance. So on a single chip, now currently we are using several processors, and we are improving the performance, efficiency, speed of the system. Okay, so that we can work together, we can use multiple users there, multiple users can work comfortably, okay, without any delay, because we are using the multiprocessor system. Multiple applications we can run, okay, together, multitasking within an application, responsiveness, and of throughput. So here the throughput will increase accordingly as the number of processor will increase. So on a single chip, we are just enhancing a number of processors, ultimately to improve the throughput, or we can say the efficiency of the system. So here share hardware between CPU. Now the basic building block is the hardware, and on that hardware we use the other operating systems. But how the hardware will share among the CPU? So there are several ways. Even though you have already studied uh, regarding the CPU, how will we connect several CPUs? Okay, central processing units. Or you can also heard the name of the loosely coupled and tightly coupled uh, systems. Okay, so if the memory is inbuilt, or sometimes the memory is shared by the processor, then it will depend on the loosely and tightly coupled multiprocessor system. Now here we can say there must be some multiprocessor symmetry. We cannot connect their number of processors, but they must have some properties so that we can connect them parallelly. Okay, so in a multiprocessing system, all CPUs may be equal, okay, or some may be reserved for special purposes. So the properties, first we will emphasize on that, what must they have the qualities, so that we can connect them parallel. Okay, so a combination of hardware and operating system software design consideration determine the symmetry. So it will also depend on the hardware what type of hardware we are using, or we are going to combine several processors, then that processors will be compatible for the particular hardware or not. Okay. So whenever we are connecting several processors, then we must upgrade the hardware also. So each chip, whatever we are using on the system board, then have its own properties, characteristics, so that we cannot use with the multiprocessor system. So we must upgrade the hardware also, and it will also depend on the operating system software, what type of operating system software we are using, whether that operating system will be compatible with the multiprocessor system or not. Okay, so it will also depend on the design aspects of that particular operating system. So we must take care of the symmetry. So first we will determine the symmetry, and after that we can combine uh, several CPUs. Okay, systems that treat all CPU equally are called symmetric. Okay, so in in machines we use that we can connect parallel transformers or some motors or generators, but we must take care of the frequency. Okay, they must have the same frequency and same we can say the voltage ratio, like those. Okay, so like that, here we can also take care of we can say a few characteristics, so that we can connect the CPUs. So whenever we are going to combine the CPUs, we must emphasize over the symmetry, okay, of the multiprocessor systems. If all CPUs are not equal, system resources may be divided in a number of ways, okay, including asymmetric multiprocessing, non-uniform memory access, okay, and clustered multiprocessing. So we must take care of this. The CPU must be of same, okay, if we are going to do the parallel processing. So characteristics must be same. Now, how we will couple different type of processor, combine or interconnect. So processor coupling contain multiple CPUs. Okay, we are using here coupling. It means we are going to connect the processors. Then there are two categories. First is called the tightly coupled multiprocessor system. Another is called the loosely coupled multiprocessor systems. Okay. So in case of the tightly coupled, it contains multiple CPUs that are connected at the bus level. So there is a common bus, but here there are several, or we can say multiple CPUs are connected at the same bus at bus level. These CPU may have access to a central shared memory. Now in case of the tightly coupled, there is a central shared memory. All the processors are sharing the unique memory or the same memory. Okay. So we can also call this symmetric multiprocessing, or SMP, the abbreviation is, or may participate in a memory hierarchy with both local and shared memory. So just you can remember only one word, that in case of the tightly coupled, a central shared memory accessed by the CPU. So there is a one memory. Okay, we can say the central shared memory. So there are various examples in which we are using sort of tightly coupled multiprocessor systems. Now here you can see another type is called the loosely coupled. Okay, loosely coupled, often referred as clusters. So there are several clusters. Okay, loosely coupled, they have their own memory. Okay, based on multiple standalone single or dual processor commodity computers interconnected via a high speed communication system. Okay, such as gigabit Ethernet. So with the help of the Ethernet cable, we are going to connect here number of processors with the help of the high speed communication system. Okay. Now here you can see examples are Linux, Beowulf clusters. So there are several clusters. They have their own memory. Okay. However, we are using the central shared memory, but here they have their own memory. Okay. Then this is called the loosely coupled multiprocessor system, and the example is Linux. Okay. And in preceding case, the example is IBM. This is the name of the machine which is using uh, or we can say designed on the behalf of the tightly coupled multiprocessor system. Okay, IBM P690. Okay, chip multiprocessors. So these are multi-core computing systems. Now here you can see the diagram, various diagrams showing here multiple processor systems. This is the case of the, here you can see the shared memory. Okay, so this is the central memory shared by several processors. This you can see here, C like this. Okay, so C is the CPU, central processing unit. Now you can see here there are several central processing units have interface of connectivity with the shared memory. So there is a common memory here shared by a number of processors. How they are connected with this a large memory. Okay. Now in case of the figure B, you can see here local memory interconnect. Now there are several processors, they are connected, but they have their own local memory here. Okay, but in this case, no. But here you can see. Now here you can see they have the interconnectivity. Okay, so they have the local memory. In this case, common memory, shared by all CPUs. Now this is the case. Okay, enhanced version of this thing. Here you can see C plus M, CPU plus memory. Okay, central processing unit plus memory. So this is the complete system. We can call it as the complete system. And this is the internet. Okay, how they are connected to each other in the C diagram. This is called the complete system diagram. Okay. I am taking your attendance. Only there are few students who are engaging this class. I don't know what's wrong with them. There are only few students here. Okay, so now it is clear with this diagram. So this is the enhanced version here, internet, and on the internet there are several CPUs and memory. You can see here connected, and this is called the complete system. So this is the complete multiprocessor system. Okay, how we are getting, how we are achieving. Yeah. So a shared memory multiprocessor system in a message passing multi-computer. So this is the message passing multi-computer. This is, we can say, a wide area distributed system. Okay, now there are several architectures we can use it. Now this is the last few seconds. Any question, please tell me.
सर डीबीएमएस लैब की सर रिपोर्ट इस हफ्ते जमा करनी है ना सर?
Pardon? Pardon?
सर डीबीएमएस लैब की सर रिपोर्ट का पूछ रहे हैं सर, उसको जमा करना होगा ना सर इस फ्राइडे तक?
जी हाँ जी
तो
जमा।
सर उसको डेटा उससे ही ले लें हम, क्योंकि सर ने बोला था कि डेटा शायद वो प्रोवाइड करेंगे नेक्स्ट टर्न पे, तो उससे पहले तो जमा करना होगा, तो हम उसका ही डेटा अपने से अज्यूम करके कर दे रहे हैं सर, टेबल
हाँ
वगैरह जो
ठीक
सेकंड
है
में
ठीक
बनानी है।
है, नेक्स्ट में ध्यान रखना, बाकी ये कर लो आप, ठीक है।
ठीक
ठीक, ओके, थैंक यू।
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू सर।
आवाज आ रही थी क्या प्रॉपर, यार नहीं आ रही?